Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always stopping by. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to cut and also how to sew this trending shrug top. So if this is something you're interested in, please like this video, comment in this video, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. So welcome back guys. Depending on your preferred length, so you can either use your upper bust length, your bust length, or your under bust length. So depending on the length you want, but for me I used a length in between my bust length and my under bust length. So my bust length is 9 inches where my under bust is 13 inches, so I used 11 inches, so it is in between my bust length and my under bust length. So now you rule a line at this area. So this is the shoulder area, then you rule another line which is the sewing allowance at the shoulder area. So the next thing I did there was the bust length line. So the remaining space there is just the distance between the bust length and the length of the shrug top. So yeah, I went ahead to mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2, then I added 3 inches extra because this top is like a batwing top. It's like a batwing top, so we need additional inches at the shoulder area. So at that area I just mark it downward. Then for the neckline I'll be using a wide neckline of 5 inches. Then at that area I mark 1.5 inches. So now that's my bust area and that's the length of the shrug top. So this is what I have drafted. So if you don't understand what I have drafted so far, please drop a comment in the comment section and I will reply as soon as I get them. So now the depth of my neckline, I don't want it to be too deep, so I'm using 2 inches. So I'll be making something that looks like a canoe neckline. I don't know if you know a canoe neckline, so this is what I'll be making. I'll be making a canoe neckline, and this is what I have. Yes, I'm just trying to remeasure all what I have here. So for those that this pattern is confusing, this is why I'm trying to mark the regular armhole on this pattern, though it is not needed, but I just want to show it so that you can understand how this pattern came about, so it won't look confusing. So I just want to mark the regular shoulder and the armhole measurement. That's what I'm trying to mark at this area so that you can understand every extension I added. So I added 3 inches at that area. That is what I wrote there. So that is my shoulder measurement. Then I added additional 3 inch extra. Depending on how wide you want it, you can add 1 inch or 2 inch depending on how wide you want it to be. So now the next thing I'll be doing is just to cut out my pattern. So after we are done cutting, it is now time to mark out our sleeve opening. So from the shoulder downward, you can measure 9 inches depending on how big you want your opening to be, or you can just determine this by measuring from the lower part just upward, maybe like 2 inches upward, like that, just for the opening. It's not a fitted sleeve, I hope you know, so you just have to add to your armhole. Yes, so this is the fabric I'll be using, and this is a net fabric. So if you have a net fabric, you can use this or something that is very close to a crochet material, because from the pictures I dropped earlier you will notice that some are crochet, so they are crochet top. but you can use a net material for this and it will look nice. So just find a net material that is very similar to a crochet, or a net material that will come out really nice with this. You can also use a fabric like Ankara or any plain fabric, depending on what you prefer actually. So that is what you will do. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to cut out my pattern. So yeah, I added extra like half inch for the sewing allowance, but later on I noticed it was not needed, so you can just keep and just cut exactly your pattern paper. If you notice my folding, I'm not sewing at the edge of this blouse, so it is the silvage edge of this top, that is where I'm using for the lower parts. I don't know if you understand. I'm not sewing the edge of this net, so the edge of my material will be the edge of the top, so I'm not sewing or anything. But if you want to sew, or depending on the fabric you are using, you can just add the allowance at the area, at that area. But because me, I'm not sewing at that area, that is why I'm not adding anything there. So this is my sleeve, and it is just a bell sleeve, but it doesn't have this curvy armhole effect. I don't know if you get. For you to get this sleeve, you take out the 3 inches from the length of your sleeve. You know that 3 inches we added, you take it out from the length of your sleeve and you cut your sleeve. As you notice, the sleeves, they are very long, but depending on your preference, actually just cut your sleeve if you want it to be very long or exactly at your wrist. So after I cut out my neckline, I noticed it was not wide enough and I want it to be very wide. That is why I'm trimming it again. So now let's go ahead to just sew. So what I will do now is to sew the shoulder and sew this part a little, like 1.5 inches at that area. Then I will turn the neckline to with a bias. So that is what I will go ahead and do now. So after I was done, this is what it looks like, and I've not ironed it yet, so this is what it looks like. So let's go ahead to fix our sleeve. If you are familiar with the way they sew buba in Iran buba, you will understand this method I'm about to use. So with this method that I'm about to use, this is the method I use to attach my buba to my sleeve to my buba. So with this method, you just place the sleeve in between. You make sure the opening of the sleeve is the same thing as the opening on the blouse. Then you sew from that edge round, like from one edge to the other, and you will have a perfect turning. If you follow this method, you will have a perfect turning. So this is what it looks like after I was done. This is what it looks like after I was done sewing. As you can see, it came out really nice. It came out really beautiful. So let me know in the comment section if you'll be trying this out, and if you'll be trying it out, which fabric will you like to use? Will you use a net fabric, a Ankara, a duchess, or satin, or which kind of fabric will you like to use? So thank you so much for watching. I'll be expecting your comments, your questions, your contribution, your like, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. And if you watched this video and it was helpful to you, please don't forget to share with your friends. Bye.